CashFlow Diary Podcast, episode 275.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the CashFlow Diary Podcast, the podcast that teaches you insider tips, tactics, and strategies for creating leverage streams of cash flow into your life. Learn from top-performing entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, and thought leaders from across the globe as they share their secrets to success. Like what you learn on this and other CashFlow Diary podcast episodes? Go to learninvestingnow.com and sign up to receive powerful tips and information that will help you succeed as an entrepreneur and investor. Now, here's your host, investor, entrepreneur, business owner, educator, speaker, author, and master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow game, Jay Massey.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm glad that you are here. If this is your first time, you probably want to check out episode 1 for sure. But today, what we're going to really focus on is the things that are required to be successful in business. And for those of you who don't know, I've been doing lots of live streaming lately. So head on over to Periscope. Follow me there. It's at CashFlow Diary. You can check me out there on Periscope, or if you feel like it, hit me up on Snapchat. Still CashFlow Diary. This is either way it goes. So what I'm going to share with you today is one of the live streams, the audio, obviously from the live stream because it was video, and I think it's going to help clarify a number of things that will help you make more progress faster. That's the goal. Help you become bigger, better, better entrepreneurs faster. So here we go. Hello, everybody. Glad that you guys are here. Jay Massey, one more time. Do me a favor. The goal for today, the scope this time is to get to break our record of, we had 20,000 hearts yesterday, or 19,000 and some change. We're trying to get over 100,000, so we've got 35,000 to go, and I've got some things I want to share with you. So for those of you on Periscope, let's just keep the hearts going. And you see who I have behind me here. She's the heart monitor. She's my heart monitor. So when she sees the hearts going, she's going to keep it going. And when she doesn't, she's got signs behind me to remind you. So let's just keep the hearts going for her. Again, what we're going to be talking about today is being in business, entrepreneurship. I've got a couple of notes and some things that I wanted to share. For those of you who don't know me, Jay Massey, CEO, CashFlow Diary. We have a podcast on iTunes. You can go listen all you want, hundreds of episodes. CashFlowDiary.com, CashFlowDiary.com, or CashFlowDiaryPodcast.com. By all means. They said that you are cute. They like the fact that you are doing your heart job. Way to go, heart monitor. Good job. So, let us know where you're from. If this is your first time joining us, feel free to type cash flow in the comments and let us know where you're from, because I'd like to welcome you, say hello. Same to you over there on Facebook. I would like to be able to say hello to you. Let us know where you're from. As she said, keep the hearts going. Puerto Rico, look at that. Cash flow, Connecticut, Atlanta, Georgia. Ireland. Wow, that's so far away, huh? New Jersey. That's correct. You can see them. They keep the hearts going. That's right. You're the heart monitor. We have Arkansas and Russia.
Jeez.
I know.
Can the Russian people already understand us?
Can the Russian people understand us? I do believe so. They speak English in Russia too. So that's a great question. Maryland. So what business am I in? I am a real estate entrepreneur. So I was actually going to talk about that. We have Netherlands and the United Kingdom as well. And that's part of what we're going to talk about. While I'm in the business of providing clean, safe, affordable housing to people, we have hundreds of units across the United States, a cell phone tower, commercial real estate, all kinds of things. What it comes down to is that business is business. What the product or service that you provide is always derived around value. It's just very, very interesting as it goes. So, someone's living in Peru, which is interesting. Jacksonville, Florida. See, they're everywhere. As I said, we're going to be talking about business and entrepreneurship. Again, the name is Jay Massey, CashFlow Diary CEO. Go over to CashFlowDiary.com if you'd like later, or the CashFlow Diary podcast as well. So here's where we are. There are a number of things that when it comes down to it, that allows you to go out there and make business happen. And some of those things are talent, time, treasures, and I'm totally a Spurs fan for those of you wondering. Time and talent, treasures. We're going to talk about a lot of the pieces that since we're going to talk about a lot of the pieces that's required to be successful in business. And again, let's just keep those hearts flowing. And I see, yes, Burlington, I see you're saying you would love to own your own business. Of course, many people would. From France, look at that. Look at that. And you don't have to. It's easier than you think because that's one of the things, but it's also harder for many of us as well. So, and that's good. Scotland, yes, I see that. I did see Scotland. So what it comes down to is being in business is possible for many of us if you would so decide. And those are the things that we want to talk about, or that I want to share with you today. So let me back up a bit before, because people are always asking, how did you get to hundreds of units and how do you build business? What it comes down to is it all starts from desiring to actually provide value in some way, shape, or form. And those are the things that your business must be centered upon, is just desiring to provide business. Now, not later, but now o'clock. Exactly. So let me go back to the beginning. A few years ago, long before even this one here was born, my wife and she was a recruiter. I was a financial planner. That's kind of what I did. Okay. And we all have our beginnings, right? I'm a military kid. I've been across the globe, lived in Germany a number of years, got tons of exposure to many different places. What's interesting about everyone's story understand this, there's a purpose inside your pain, and there's a purpose inside your pain. And when my wife was pregnant, she has a condition known as, what was that? Polynomial world. Thank you very much for those kind words. I totally appreciate it. When my wife is pregnant, she has a condition known as hyperemesis. What it simply means is that she cannot eat or drink. And again, guys, you see the heart monitor in the back. She's got the sign. She's just keep tapping just like this. Excellent. We're trying to get over 100,000. That would be wonderful if we could all make it there together today. Just to give you an idea, if each of you give about 2,000 hearts, it takes about 5 minutes, 36 seconds, 5 minutes, 36 seconds to do so. You can make that happen. That would be really, really wonderful. Anyway. Here's the understanding. All of us have a story. All of us have a background. All of us have a beginning. All of us have something that inspires us, got us started in some way, shape, or form. Every one of you have reasons. And some of mine, it started, like I said, I was growing up military. I got to see a lot of different places. I remember in high school, I don't know if you guys did this, but in high school, one of the things that I did, I would always say, I would tell the teachers, hey, if I learn this, can I make six figures? If I learn this, will I make six figures was typically the word. And they would say yes. And that would be the math and the sciences, because I was told I had aptitude there. And I was like, okay, cool. Then I'm going to go learn those things. And I don't know if you had the experience like I did, but I had an experience where I learned, even though I learned those things, they didn't necessarily translate into the income that I had hoped for. Therefore, a change was necessary, and bringing about change is often wrought with pain. And inside that pain is where your purpose is. And it doesn't always come out the proper way, it's never clean. It's never neat. It's always messy, right? It's always messy in that process. And some of the things that can get in the way of becoming an entrepreneur are talents, times, and treasures. And we're going to talk about those as we talk tonight. And one of the things that I want to help you do is to have a proper view of your own talent, time, and treasures, and more importantly, how they're an asset, not necessarily a liability like we treat them. And as I was saying, I thought I was supposed to go to college. I didn't do that. I didn't really finish. I dropped out of college, ended up with just a high school diploma. I have a PhD, public high school diploma. That's all I got. And I started doing customer service, eventually ended up in I was complaining one day to a friend, saying, hey, I need more money. He said, hey, well, why don't you get a job in sales, which totally scared the tar out of me, right? I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Talk to strangers? Mom says, when you grew up, if you're anything like me, thank you, Macy. I appreciate that. You're welcome. Again, you guys just keep joining. Feel free to keep sharing and keep the hearts going, because we're going to talk about a number of things tonight that is going to help position you for this week coming up. And it's important, though, that you understand your own story in the context of the greater thing that you are looking to achieve. And that's what it comes down to when it's building your business. All small businesses start with a story, usually the story with the founder, which in this case is you. And one of the interesting things to understand is wealth is for everyone, and that means you. That means you. So you must remember that at all times. Never forget that wealth is for everyone, and that means you. So through this process of transformation, I was being stepped through from customer service into sales, and from sales into outside sales, and all of those types of things. And my wife and I, as I was saying, she was a recruiter. She's got 2 degrees, and that's how we came together. And when she was pregnant, she has a condition known as hyperemesis. What does that mean? In fact, otherwise you might have to look it up, right? What does that mean? That means when she's pregnant, she cannot eat or drink. And that's what it means. I mean, she just continually is in this state of ketosis, and it's just really crazy. She almost died a few times. I was scared. So what did I do? What most men do is that I tried to go blow off steam, and I went to go play a sport. I jumped, I landed on a guy's head, punctured my lung. I was born with asthma, have a condition known as pleurisy. The combination of them together made it so that I could not walk and talk simultaneously without fainting. I am telling you all of these things to set up the understanding that none of your businesses, none of your ideas ever come at the time that you think that is perfect. But it is not a perfect time that you are looking for. It is in those imperfections. It is in there that you are developed into the entrepreneur that you need to be. Here's my point. As you are going through this process, as you continue to go through this process, as I go through my own process, here's what happened. My wife's in this situation. We decided that, hey, we're going to start selling our personal possessions on eBay. That's what we decided. That's what we did. And that meant I had to learn how to get online and sell stuff on eBay. We would sell stuff at a discount. We would sell stuff at a discount, or we'd buy it at a discount and sell it at a discount. Started with the stuff that's in our garage, in our closet, whatever there was. That's how it started. That was the beginning of hustle. You want to talk about learning how to make something happen. You have to hustle in those situations. And that's one of the things that an entrepreneur, that you would-be entrepreneurs are experiencing. You don't know what's going to be around the corner. You're wondering, do I have the skill sets necessary to make it? You're like, I don't know where that next paycheck is coming from. And you're trying to figure out, how do I make it? What do I to become this entrepreneur person? And one of those things is dealing with that uncertainty, the uncertainty of tomorrow, the uncertainty of what's next, the uncertainty of who am I going to talk to? Will there be someone that I can go out there and get business from and do business with? And Lord willing, please let me find them today, because we must eat. And that was the situation. Literally. If we would try to put things or find things at garage sales on Thursday or Friday, put them on sale on eBay Saturday, so hopefully they sell by Sunday so we can eat on Monday, because that was the situation. Around that time, part of what was going on is that a friend of mine said, hey, you should become involved in real estate. And I'm like, that did not make sense. That was not the normal path in my thought process. I mean, we had a credit score of 398. We were barely eating, guys. Didn't even have the $75. But here's the point. We didn't let what we didn't have stop us, and neither should you. Oftentimes, we are presented with an opportunity to go up in something, to move up, to change our station. The first thing we think about is what we don't have. We think about, hey, I don't have the talent necessary to be the person on stage. I don't have the talent necessary to lead a group of people to make my vision happen. I don't have the talent necessary to speak, to write, to talk, to do math, whatever it is. When we are presented with those opportunities, one of the first things that comes to our mind is what we're not. Nowhere does anyone build a business on what they're not. You can't build anything from what you're not. You can start with what you have and move forward. And that's exactly what you and I must continue to do. but our talents are not the reasons. You not having had an opportunity is not the reason why you haven't made it, and it never will be. It's your perspective on your talent. Your talent is not the excuse. It is this very thing that is telling you what you must do next. You see entrepreneurs day in and day out begin and struggle and understand that none of us started with the skill sets we have today. Write this down. Every master was once a disaster. I'll say that again. Every master was once a disaster. That means everybody, including you, have a starting place. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. My starting place was, as I said, in a situation in which we were squatting in bank-owned property, selling our personal possessions on eBay. My wife is fighting for her life and I can barely walk and talk. What does that mean? That means we're all given a situation in which we must start in. Where you start is never perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect, because if it was, it would be perfect. You must be given something to overcome. Here's why. Your muscles aren't strong enough for the blessing that you are asking for. You can't actually carry it yet. The version of you that's watching me today is not capable of receiving and properly maintaining that which you are asking for, that you currently believe would relieve the pressure while it is available to you. Because wealth is for everyone. That means you. Right? Remember that every time I threw this, so that everybody knows, when I say the words wealth is for everyone, you type that means me. Okay? Wealth is for everyone. That means me. That's your role. Of course, keep those hearts going. Just grab that phone in your hand and just keep those hearts going like you've been doing, because what it comes down to is you must begin to change your perspective. Yes, that means you. Exactly what I'm talking about. You must begin to change your perspective on your talents. Just because you are presented with an opportunity to move up, does that mean that that is not the time to take inventory of what you do not have, except for one reason: to figure out where you must go next. That is the purpose of understanding what you lack. It has a purpose. And yes, it hurts to realize, oh my goodness, I may have a long way to go, but it is the beginning that lays out the path. And that's exactly what happened. Okay, that's exactly. What's up, Chris? I see you. I see you there. So what's up there? So yes, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I know there are talents that you are missing. I know there are team members that you are missing. I get all of that, but that is not the reason why you have not made it. So as we're going through this situation, what does that mean? That means that I'm faced with an idea. That means I'm faced with an idea of what do I do? Okay. You've got to understand that that's the obstacle. The obstacle is, are you going to continue to pursue the dream, or shall you turn around and go back home? And the question you will be presented with every day is, are you going to go back down the road that's familiar, or continue to face the unknown? So as I said, my wife was in a situation in which she could not eat or drink. I could not walk or talk. And that was just the life. There was no circumventing it. There was no crying that was going to make it go away. But that was what I was given the opportunity to overcome and then move forward. Through the process of selling things on eBay, I was just buying stuff at other people's garage sales. A friend said, hey, you should become a real estate investor. Now, I promise you that didn't make sense, but I moved forward anyway, because what else was I going to do? I didn't have a better option. Do you? Most of the time, we don't have a better option when someone presents us an opportunity. Okay. And it's hard to admit that hey, I don't know anything. And that's understood. Okay. That's just part of it. As we're going through this process, here's what happens next. I find out that there's a strategy inside of real estate investing where, guess what you do? You buy properties at a discount and you sell them at a discount. I'm like, man, that's the same thing I'm doing on eBay, but you're telling me I can do this with more commas and zeros and using none of my own money or credit. How come I wasn't taught that in high school? I don't know, but that's a scope for another day, right? That's a broadcast for another day. Here's the point. The point is, don't let what you think you know prevent you from stepping into what is known and possible, dare I say probable for you. I'll say that again. Don't let what you think you know prevent you from stepping into what is possible, dare I say probable for you. Okay? And what it comes down to is it's always been there. You just couldn't see it. And it took the pain that you're currently in to have the scales, if you will, fall off your eyes so that you can begin to see the opportunity that has always been there, that was sitting there, that was waiting. Because again, wealth is for everyone.
That means me.
That means me. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Everyone. Now, when you're going through that process, you must continue to push forward and gain new skills. As you gain those new skills, the greatest thing that's going to happen to you is that you will be introduced to new people who are also seeking to gain new skills. You're going to end up with new relationships, and those new relationships will begin to be the foundation that carries you forward. And that's exactly what we're talking about, is what is necessary to carry you forward in business. No one was born with all of the skills, and nobody was born with it all perfect, not even you. And that's okay. Through that process, though, you must then become aware of your most precious and valuable asset, which is time, which is why I'm honored that you are taking the time right now. You know, you were scrolling through your news feed and you said, hey, I want to watch what this is happening, what Jay is putting down right now. I want to make sure that I am there. Perfect. Now you must begin to understand how to use your time correctly. Time is by far way more important than money. Money replenishes. Time does not. Period. Once this second is gone, it does not come back. You, in fact, were already wealthy. You just didn't realize it because you measured it in dollars instead of seconds. And I say again, wealth is for everyone. That means me. And having a better perspective of your time will help you with the understanding of just how wealthy you indeed are. But yet we use that as the very excuse. I can't do this because I have a kid, or because I have soccer, or because I have other commitments. You have just said that, you know what? Where I'm putting my time is the most and highest important place, but yet you're complaining about what you do not have. Then the only reason you do not have is because you haven't actually put your time in the most important places. I get the distractions. I get the understand. I get that things can get out of order, but Sunday, today, every day is a day to get things back in the order that you want them to be, as opposed to living by default. Live with a purpose. Time is not the reason. And then we have this other thing called treasures, the things that we hold dearest to us. Yes, you might like Grey's Anatomy, and so you think you can dance in the next Pentatonics concert. By the way, I really like a cappella music, so I'm not like saying they're bad or anything. I'm just saying you gotta understand the things that you treasure. You must ask yourself, is this going to move you one step, not 10, but one step closer to the thing that you actually want? I don't know. You've got to ask yourself that question. Is it or isn't it? And if it is, continue with it. If it isn't not, then stop. It won't hurt you if you don't. And here's the thing that many of us must remember. It's that there are only three things that you need. There are only three things that you need. Now, before I get into the three things, I just want to remind everybody, my name is Jay Massey, CEO of CashFlowDiary. We have a podcast in iTunes, CashFlowDiary Podcast. You can go there to learn how to build your cash flow all you like. Like I said, we have the privilege of having hundreds of units of real estate all across the U.S. We're real estate entrepreneurs, and we teach other entrepreneurs to do the exact same thing. And what we're doing today is we just want to make sure that the hearts keep flowing, because we're trying to get as many as we possibly can. So just keep the taps going. And I've got my heart monitor here with me. That's what she's doing. So she's raising the sign to make sure that you guys keep tapping the hearts, because that's exactly what we're after. Excellent. I see them flowing. Good job. Way to go. You seem to be doing a good job today. So with that being said, what I want to share with you are three things that people tend to focus on and that you should be focused on in order to obtain and bring the business into your reality. Because as I was leaving off in the story, what happened is we were squatting in bank-owned property. Well, a friend said, hey, you should become a real estate investor. We started learning techniques that allowed you to buy properties at a discount and sell them at a discount, make a little bit in the middle. The same stuff that we were doing on eBay with cell phones and clothing and Disneyland plates, that things that didn't really have much impact and therefore didn't get compensated nearly as well for the same skill sets and techniques. But once we transferred it over to real estate, it became something completely different. And we learned that that was possible for us because wealth is for everyone. And that means me. Exactly. You got it. Here's my point. Through that process, though, through this journey, there are three things that you have to pay attention to. Your tools, the techniques, and then the technician, yourself. Oftentimes I'm asked, hey, Jay, how on earth what are the tools? How do I raise more capital? What do I do to be able to write offers? And what are the tools? What are the documentation that I need to be able to make 6 figures in 6 days, or, ridiculous things sometimes, but yet I get it. It's real. You want to know how do I go out there and earn an income? And the tools, they're really, really easy to point out. It's like, okay, cool, download this document, go over here and get this item. And that's kind of some of the things that we produce inside of our membership is the tools that you need, and we give them to you. And people wonder, what hammers and what's the best caulking gun and what tub do I need when I'm rehabbing, and how do I, what are the teammates and the people who are going to do the contracting and all that other stuff. I mean, we've done rehabs of 182 unit buildings. We're still in the process of that one right now. And trust me, it's an undertaking. We've had buildings catch fire. We've had all kinds of things. What are the tools to put my building back together? How does that work? I get all that. I understand that, but it's still not the most important piece. It's an important piece, but it's not the most important piece. So hopefully you hear me clearly there. Okay. Then there becomes the techniques. It's like, how do you use a tool? Hear me clearly. You could have an expert tool. You can have the very same tool that all the experts use, but that does not mean you know how to use an expert tool expertly. Both of those things must come together. An expert's tool must be used expertly in order to have anywhere near the same results. And that also takes time. There is no shortcut. In the time that it takes, it's in order to use an expert's tool. Just think about a camera for example. I could give you a camera. Is my camera over there? Hand me that. Use 2 hands, please. Please use 2 hands. So I happen to enjoy photography, and I could give you an expert's tool. For example, this camera is an expert's tool. I've used it in some of my spare time. I've taken photos for our newspaper. I've done all kinds of interesting things with cameras like this, and it's an expert's tools. I mean, we've got a Carl Zeiss 1.4 lens on the front here. I've got the Canon 6D. I like Canon equipment, etc. This is an expert's tool. But that does not mean if I hand it to you, you know how to use it right now expertly. I promise you, we won't create the exact same image simply because of our different experiences and capabilities of knowing how to use an expert's tool. So just having the contracts as a real estate entrepreneur, it's not enough. Just knowing the techniques, I know about, lease options. I know about what I'm supposed to do. I have these tools. I know about them, but that's what most people have done time and time again. That's what most people have done time and time again, is that they focus on the tools, they focus on the techniques, how to use the expert's tool and what expert tools exist. And the great thing is today we live in the information age, right? But the biggest sacrifice you must make is the sacrifice to build the technician. You can have all the tools, you can have all the techniques, but you must build the technician. In this case, you are that technician. And as you can see, our heart monitor back here, she's keeping the hearts going, so keep the hearts flowing. And just understand that you, the technician, is what requires the absolute most work, because for many decades now, You've done things. You've had an operating system that has failed you. It's got bugs that first must be identified before they can be destroyed. We have to do a scan of the system because simple things of understanding. For example, here's another quick test. Wealth is for everyone. That means me. That's what you guys type when you hear the words wealth is for everyone, because how many people have told you in your entire life that wealth is for you? Because wealth is for everyone. Wealth is for everyone? There you go. See, the programming helps to start earlier because you must remember that it is for you. It's not, there is no them that it's for, right? It's for you. If you desire to have it, you can. Now, many of us can define it differently. Some of you are the wealthiest people I know because you have excellent families, excellent friends. You are wealthy in ways that others only wish they were. But wealth is for everyone, and that means you. And that means me. Exactly. So, what am I saying here? We've got talent to concern ourselves with, but it's no longer the excuse. We all have the same 24 hours, 168 in a week, right? We all have the same 86,400 seconds in a day. We all have things that we hold dear in terms of treasures. We all can have access to tools and techniques because that is the essence of the information age, is tools and techniques that allow you to do the things that you always have wanted to do. And that's exactly what we're talking about, is the tools and techniques that are necessary to make this. So, Patrick, if you're wondering why she's holding it up, she's reminding everybody to keep the hearts going, because that's exactly what we're doing today. She wants everybody on Periscope to keep tapping the screen. If you don't know how, just keep tapping the screen like so. She's holding up for the heart. She's my heart monitor, if you will, today, making sure that everyone knows if you like what you hear, just keep tapping the hearts, because that's exactly what we're talking about here. So it's awesome. And the talent, the time, the treasures, the tools, the techniques, the technician, these are the things that we must do and work on and understand. And like I said, we've all had some faulty programming, and it's unfortunate. And in fact, you see some of the comments that stream by, and you can see that some people are still living with faulty programming, and that's unfortunate, but that is their reality. It doesn't mean it has to be your reality. It doesn't mean anything other than their programming is still broken. And the reason you would come here, it's a reason the reason that you would continue to consume the content that we produce is to change that programming one day at a time, so that the technician, you, can be worked upon. In fact, if you want to make sure that you're able to be notified when we go live, just click the subscribe button over there on Facebook, and if you see that there's a number on the little Perry dude in the lower right corner, just tap him. That'll bring up my name. Just tap that and then tap follow. That'll help you to always be one of the first notified when new content is going to be available. But you've got to consider the tools, the techniques, and the technician. The technician requires some of the most work. I mean, it's simple things in a very clear and true way. For example, here's an exercise that you can use tonight that'll begin to work on the technician. One of the first things that I had to do is learn that wealth is for everyone. That means me. One of the exercises that can help you with that is to actually, what you would do is you would state your goal in 3 different ways. First, second, and third person. For example, say your goal is $10,000 a month, right? I earn $10,000 a month. He earns $10,000 a month. Jay earns $10,000 a month. Learning to say that enough to you until the point where your subconscious does not reject those numbers. Because the first time you say it, it might be you hear that little voice in the back of your head that says, yeah, right, buddy. Right. How are you going to do that? Don't you know who you are? Don't you know what you haven't done? You don't have this. You don't have that. But that's completely irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. Wealth doesn't ask your pedigree. It asks, what value can you bring to me? I'll say that again.
Wealth does not ask your pedigree. It asks, what value can you bring to me? And that has nothing to do with anything other than, can you bring value to the hour? That hour in which I need the value. So again, a simple exercise that you can do to begin to work on the technician. That's where the real issue is working on the technician, is restate your goal 3 different ways to yourself. And if your goal, say, was $10,000 a month, it's I earn $10,000 a month, he earns $10,000 a month, then your name, Jay, earns $10,000 a month. Now, at the time, I thought that was a big number. It felt like a big number relative to what I had seen and the people who I was hanging around with. That was an amazing number, and then steadily increase that over time. Start somewhere. Yeah, you want to be the next Zuckerberg. Yeah, you'd like to be Elon Musk, and I want to be a billionaire and sing the song and all that too. But you got to start somewhere. Before you can learn to earn 10 grand, you might need to learn to earn 2. Okay, it starts somewhere. There are no trophies here for just participating. You must begin to bring value. Okay, so in order to do that, there's an important question. So if we're talking about your talent, your time, your treasures, your tools, the techniques, and the technician, in order to do that, there's something that you must absolutely learn to do, is that you must learn the true definition of sacrifice. Because it doesn't come without you giving up something. Let me tell you how I have come to understand sacrifice. It is giving up something that you currently hold valuable in exchange for something even more valuable. Period. You say time with your children is valuable. Agreed. But sometimes to build that business, to build that next stage, to build that family, to build what you want to build, guess what you're going to have to do? Sacrifice in that specific area right there. Time. Giving up something that you currently consider valuable for something even more valuable. And that's fine. But you must do this consciously. It doesn't happen haphazardly. In order to get to those stages, in order for you to begin to realize that the greatness that you were born to be in, that's what it's going to take. It doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen because you get lucky. It doesn't happen because you just woke up one day and said, hey, look at me, I'm great. It's a series of decisions that you will make continuously in order to get there. And it starts tonight. It doesn't start tomorrow. It doesn't start one day and someday. Neither of those days are in the week. Look on a calendar. Show me one day and show me someday. They're not one of the 7 days of the week. It starts today, tonight. One of the habits that I would love for everyone in the community to get used to is to getting prepared for Monday on Sunday. Not waiting till Monday to figure out what you're going to do, what the goals are going to be for the week, but tonight. That's one of the things my mentors taught me that has helped me continuously produce consistently, and that's the key. You're not going to be perfect every day, but you can be consistent. And in a simple way of rephrasing that. So here's another way to begin to work on the technician, right? So here's how we can work on the technician together. Realize, in order to win the day, so let's say you're going to work 8 hours a day. That is your work time. In order to win the day, you only have to really be productive for 5 out of 8 hours, because then you've won. In order to win the week, if you're going to actually work like 7 days a week, but in order to win it, you only need to be on for 4 of them, because 4 out of 7 is the majority. In order to win the month, you only need to be on for 3 of the weeks. That means you can blow an entire week every month and you're good. The most encouraging one is the year. You just have to be on for 7 months. That means 5 whole months can just completely be wasted, and you can probably still win the year. It doesn't have to be 24/7, but it does have to be consistent. It does have to be consistent. And this is a training thing. It's not about a new tool, a new technique. Those are important. It's about reframing your time, your talent, your treasures, and understanding their proper place relative to that which you say you wish to obtain. It can be obtained and it's there for you because wealth is for everyone.
That means me.
And that means me, right? Every time I say that, guys, just as a reminder, every time I say wealth is for everyone, the words are that means me. That's what you guys type. Here's the deal. For those of you just now joining us, yes, exactly. That means me. For those of you just now joining us, my name is Jay Massey. I invest my time helping individuals become real estate entrepreneurs. It says, if you're lazy and unreliable, it doesn't matter what you're good at. That is true. That is absolutely true. And you don't want to be lazy or unreliable. But here's the cool thing. If you are lazy and unreliable today, learning to not be that way is a skill set. No one was born with the work ethic. They had to learn it over time. And if your mom or dad or friends or coach didn't teach you, that is exactly where mentors come from. That's exactly the roles they can play, either in a book or online or in scopes and video and live broadcasts. We have so many ways of doing that today. And that's what it comes down to, is who's providing value, who's sowing something into your life that once that seed grows, it's going to be worthwhile. I promise you that if you are seeking that out, the individuals are indeed there. For those of you who want to make sure that you are first notified when we go live, all you got to do is hit subscribe over there on Facebook. There should be a little button for you to press. And for those of you on Periscope, just hit the little Perry dude in the lower right corner. There should be a number next to him. And when that happens, a screen's going to pop up. Just tap on my name and hit the follow button. And that will make sure that you are here. Because as we continue, the goal is to help more individuals become the real estate entrepreneurs, or just entrepreneurs in general. To go out there to bring the value, because here's the thing. You're playing small. Your cowering under fear does not serve a soul, not one. You are not wise. You are not taking the safe road. There is no safe road for entrepreneurs. That is what you are by default shedding. You are willing to step out, to be in front, to take those arrows, to be shot in the back. Those are the things that happen, but that's okay. They're survivable. That's the thing. When you have the correct community around you, all of these things can absolutely happen for you to be still able to make the progress that's required. One of the next things that you're going to want to understand is you must learn to become pleasantly relentless. Pleasantly relentless in pursuit of your goal. You must become pleasantly relentless. And as you continue in your journey, you're going to need to deepen that conviction in order, because you will be tested. As I said again, we've all been tested. I promise you, on days when when you might not feel like it, when I don't feel like it, you still must show up and make that happen, no matter what it comes down to. You still must show up, because there are people that are depending upon you to create value. And when you deliver, that only when and after you deliver do you get paid. Because again, wealth is for everyone. That means me. Exactly. Your daily mode of operation, what you do day in and day out, matters. Every moment you spend, every second that you are here with me, I appreciate. You should appreciate. This should be an investment, and an investment into you, so that you can go produce something more than what you've had before. Because the number one thing that we all should be doing, and hopefully you will begin to see, and I will show you step by step, is how to build and control assets. Period. Wow, Norway. That's pretty cool. So you've got to learn how to build and control assets. That no more trading time just for dollars. You trade your time to build an asset, and then you learn to sell that asset, or the use of that asset, in the marketplace. That's what every entrepreneur does, whether that's a real estate entrepreneur, whether you are out there building apps, whatever it comes down to is that you have control over an asset that you build. And one of the things that I like to do is to interview entrepreneurs of all kinds, all walks of life who are out there doing it. And that's exactly what we do on the Cashflow Diary podcast. The Cashflow Diary you can just go to CashFlowDiaryPodcast.com in order to be able to gain more knowledge, more wisdom from many, many, many more entrepreneurs, literally hundreds and hundreds of hours of entrepreneurial training just sitting there waiting for you so that you have the ability to go out there and become great. Because that's what it is. We all can become great as soon as you choose to, and follow that up by working with the correct tools, techniques, and becoming the best technician as humanly possible. And you can do this step by step. I heard it said once that it's hard by the yard, but it's a cinch by the inch. And that means one day at a time. That means one day at a time. Because as I said before, and I say again, wealth is for everyone.
That means me.
And that means me. And it means you. Guys, gals, people, it's been fun talking to you today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you for tuning in. Again, make sure that you follow up. If you want to go over to CashFlowDiaryPodcast.com, CashFlowDiaryPodcast.com. Feel free to download to your heart's content, because I've interviewed hundreds of entrepreneurs, and we all have a story. We all have pain that we must work through in order to get to our goals. Your story is no different, and it can be overcome one step at a time. And if you're going to go over to listen to the podcast, listen to episode 1. I go deeper into the story, how we got started, what it takes in order to be able to build a real estate portfolio in any country. We've helped and serviced individuals now in 76 different countries, which sounds crazy to me, but absolutely wonderful. So it doesn't matter what language you speak. It doesn't matter who anything other than that you want to move forward. So, and that's what we're here to do, is to make sure that you have at least one resource. If nobody else cares, you know that I do. You know that we do. And that's what's important, because as I said before, wealth is for everyone.
That means me.
And that means me as well as you. It's been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.